Well, if you know anything about the IndyCar schedule, you know that we just came off a great weekend of racing out at Portland. And up next weekend, believe it or not, is already the last race of the year out at Laguna Seca. And in between, I was just doing some hiking kind of to settle my spirit, getting ready for next weekend and working on this message. And I figured rather than record it in a boring old hotel room, I would just bring you with hiking this time, maybe to enjoy the scenery while I'm talking. But as I said, we're heading into Laguna Seca for the last race of the year already. And at the track, we've been working on a season-long devotional series about the armor of God. And I think, again, it's amazing the way God has orchestrated things. That's where we are at the track today, and this is where we are in the Gospel of Luke today. Because in the Armor of God series, that whole thing is based on the fact that we are not fighting against enemies of flesh and blood. We're fighting against unseen spiritual forces. And guess what? Here in Luke, we hear about this evil spirit that Jesus is about to cast out of this man. And I want to start right there before we get much further about the spirit world. We just don't give that a lot of credibility anymore, do we? We are not, we might say we're spiritual people, but we live in the physical, and we're so distracted by the physical that often we don't believe in things like evil spirits. And let me tell you, there are evil spirits and they are at work, but I am not going to sit there and debate that today. But what I can tell you, let's read this verse. It says this. It says, once when he was in a synagogue, a man possessed by a demon, an evil spirit, cried out shouting, "Go away. Why are you interfering with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." Okay, getting back to that term, evil spirit. While you might think that's something for a horror movie, like I said, they're real, they exist. But let's settle on this. Let's settle on the fact that the spirit of evil is hard at work in our world today. I don't think any of us would debate that. And if I was the great deceiver, I sure would want people to think there was no such thing as an evil spirit, because then we wouldn't be on guard against them. We would let them be doing the work in the world that they're actually doing today. And I love where the evil spirits say to Jesus, "Go away. Why are you interfering with us?" They're hard at work back then, and they're hard at work now. Why are some of the things happening today that are happening? Because people are blinded by spirits to what's actually happening. And Jesus, being Jesus, thank God, thank Jesus himself, is able to see through this, and he can just address them right to their face. And they know who Jesus is. And this is where I want to go back to what Jason was talking about last week. Just knowing who God is, knowing of God, believing in Jesus, it's not enough. We have to put our faith or trust in Jesus, because he's the one looking out for us in the spiritual realm right now. He's the one going to guard us. He's the one that provides that armor that I started talking about at the very beginning of this. So today, my question for you is, how armored up are you for the spiritual battle that we go through every day? Are you letting the spirits win by default? Or are you taking Jesus into that battle with you? All those struggles we're having, all those different things in our life, he wants to go through them with us. He wants to help us. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I just invite you to let Jesus go with you wherever you go. Let him see what you don't, and let him cover your back. And as we end today, I want to invite you to go to Ephesians chapter 6, starting in verse 10, just about the armor of God. Spend some time looking at that this week and how you can apply it in your life. As you see in that, those verses, it all points back to Jesus. It all points about Jesus being the armor, not us. So just give him a trust. Give him some time this week checking that out. And we'll catch you next week at Wednesday Wisdom when the season's going to be over. Thanks for traveling with us every step of the way.